Hi everyone, welcome back to my craft room. I'm Whitney Lucas with Crafty Thoughts and Whatnots, and today I'm doing a floral chalkboard wreath hanger, or it's a wreath alternative door hanger. It is a chalkboard sign that's it's already it's a hanging piece prefabricated. I got a Hobby Lobby. We're going to add some floral accents to the top and some ribbon, and then we'll see how cute it looks at the end. I did get this actual idea from Julie Samaka from Southern Charm Wreaths. She actually did the exact same tutorial already on her Facebook page, Facebook Live, and I was able to run to Hobby Lobby and get the same door hanger that she purchased. This was a few weeks ago, so they're out now. I don't know if they still have them, but there are quite a few alternatives. There are so many different options I found online on Amazon and on eBay. A couple eBay came up, and different on different websites online. I found some, even Etsy. Other Etsy shop owners actually prefabricate them and make them, or frame a chalkboard. It's pretty much anything that you can find that's already made a chalkboard, and then this one has a wooden frame around it, so it makes it really easy to attach the flowers that we're planning on putting on it and some ribbon. I'm going to use my staple gun and some hot glue today to secure these items to the actual frame around the chalkboard. I wanted to show you guys some alternatives. This right here is the piece that we're going to be attaching everything to today. It's this guy right here. And I've been getting the chalkboard ready so you can kind of see some fingerprints and stuff on there, because I've already been writing on it, just practicing, seeing how I want to do things. I think in order to not really hinder what you want to write on here, I'm going to put the arrangement kind of at the top, in the top corner up here. So I'll be gluing and stapling up here to not so much to interfere with anything that you want to write on the board. After you hang this on the wall, you're going to have flowers and ribbon here, and then you can write anything you want here down in the middle. And then what you're actually putting on the hanger won't interfere with anything that you're going to attach. So I want to show some other alternatives of what I found online. This is just an easy search I did. I pulled up, I just typed wooden chalkboard hanging signs, and there were quite a few options I found. There's some, some of these are really inexpensive, $3.50. It doesn't say how big they are. There's one here that's really large, rustic framed chalkboard. You see, I don't know if it's going to show very well on Facebook. This is from Etsy. If you can see that. It's $44. There's that one. Then I found a really cute one from Lights for All Occasions. This is probably through Amazon. Wooden yardstick chalkboard sign with twine for hanging. This one is really, really cute. I wish I could show you guys. I don't know if these pictures just aren't showing up when I try to face them towards you. Let's see if I can do this one. I don't know if you can see that. The border and the frame they made out of it is made out of yardsticks. It's very, very cute. And then it says South Main Street, Atlanta, Georgia, so it's probably an older rustic. It's just very, very cute. That would be really cute just to add a couple sunflowers or some burlap around. So even though this particular sign isn't available anymore, your options are endless. So you can just take a quick little search on Google, see what Google comes up with, and whether it's Amazon or Google or those types of things, and then you can find any chalkboard sign. Or if you are just out and about and you happen to run into something at any store you happen to be at, if Hobby Lobby always has these things. I particularly got this one on sale that weekend. They had their chalkboards. I'm not sure if they were wreaths and stuff, but it specifically said chalkboards and hanging pictures, those types of things were all 50% off. So this was normally $30, $29.99. I got it for $14.99. So 50% off better than the 40% off app coupon. So I got a better deal than I normally would. If it wasn't on sale, then yes, I would have definitely used my 40% off on my coupon that's always available on the phone. From here, I'm just going to start adding flowers and ribbon, and then we'll see how it goes as we create it. I wanted to add I have one thicker kind of ribbon, I'll show you guys in 1 second, that I wanted to just do a really simple bow. I don't want it to be very big or poofy because, again, this piece is going to need more room than an actual wreath, or maybe the picture frame wreath I did a couple weeks ago that you can also find on Facebook and YouTube. This one you want to leave some room around the edges, so the tails and stuff, I'm not sure how long I want to leave those coming down. If I'm going to just do really short tails and then dovetail them so that they're kind of just hanging there, but they're not actually covering the whole front of the piece. You don't want that to happen. So I was just getting this stuff ready here, and what I'm going to do is I'll start showing you the supplies that I got. And go set that guy up here. So here's the chalkboard wreath, or I keep saying wreath. Here's the chalkboard hanger I purchased at Hobby Lobby. I've already gone over that with you guys, so I'm just going to pull off the tag here. I like to keep my tags just so I can keep track of how much I'm actually spending on the project. So this one, we'll just leave this here. This is the main ribbon I plan on putting on the wreath. You guys probably saw earlier when I posted onto my Facebook page that I was going to do this live stream. I purchased this a long time ago, probably a few years back, at Sam's Club. So this is really old ribbon. This isn't available either, but it's 2.5 inches wide, wired ribbon. It's got that, I think it's called portafoil. I'm not sure the name of this style, but it's a light lime green. It's really cute and airy for summer. So I purchased this. I haven't opened it yet, so this will be my first time using it. It's 50 yards. So we can throw this in here. And it's also a little bit sheer. It's not a solid it's not fabric-y or burlap. So I'm going to use this one. I just got these through craftoutlet.com. They're very, very springy, very good colors. They're also wired, and these are 5/8 inch wide. So I may put a few of these poking out also, just to show through some of the flowers, or maybe even around the bow when I place the bigger bow on. I'm not sure what colors I want to go with yet, but these I have off to the side too. I'm not sure which one to use. The main bush of flowers I bought, this was when I was shopping for the actual project. I wanted to do, this is sort of a bright orange and yellow sunflower. The whole bush was really cute with a little bit of yellow, a little bit of pink and orange. So I just decided to grab the whole thing, and I believe I got the flowers. This is Michael's. I got the flowers at Michael's. Apparently I got them for 50% off a couple weeks ago. I think all these flowers are at Michael's. These are all just summer. Yeah, these are all Michael's. These are all summer and spring bushes that I bought. Bushes are always better to buy because you can really piece them apart. You get more for your money off of bushes. I also grabbed some red. These are more of a light pink rose. I may or may not put some of those in there. Here's some orange, fairly big. These are, I guess, a faux marigold. These are pretty big too, another bush. All these were at Michael's in their summer collection, which I believe they still, yeah, Summer Garden. They all have these. These are still out. Last time I was at Michael's just last weekend, and everything I believe is 50 or 60% off. They're trying to clear their summer stuff out, I guess. And here, this is, oh, these are left over from the picture frame wreath I did. I cut off a few of these and used those on picture frame wreath, but these were also a summer bush from Michael's too. So I just got a nice combination. Here's some pink. These are like a fuchsia pink. I'm not sure if the light in here is showing them. These are a fuchsia pink daisy type thing. And then I liked this guy. I thought it was a little crazy looking. These little yellow feathery looking guys would look really cute. Pull a couple of those out. Maybe have a few of those sticking out somewhere. We'll see how we put the yellow in there. But I just stuck with yellows and pinks and oranges. I like how everything was just really talking to me as far as these colors. This bush right here was the inspiration. They already did everything for you. So if you just got this one bush alone, you would be perfectly okay because you've got 3 or 4 different sizes. There's some little berries in here too. You can pull these apart and just hot glue those in after we've already stapled in the larger pieces. It's really, really easy. This one bush alone would be perfect because we're not going to use all of these. I got this for 50% off. It was $20. I got it for $8.99, so I must add another coupon when I got to the register, which is normal for me. I usually do another 20% off when I get to the register. I always have
exotic butters,
some sort of coupon extra in my bag. So this particular one, you see, look, even this little tiny fuchsia, 2 little pink flowers, you got all the sizes you need, and you got everything you need here. And you still won't use this whole bush. So again, you could do $15 on the chalkboard wreath or the chalkboard sign, and $9 on your bush of flowers. The ribbon I already had, but these are the larger ribbon spools that you can get. I'm $6.99 for 50 yards, and then that's not that bad for just an entire piece that you've already got almost a completed item. Just got to add a little bit of glue. I always keep some greenery handy just in case I want to fill this in. This is a potato bush is what it says. Got this at Michael's also. So we'll see. We may or may not need to use that. I just like to keep some handy just in case you find a hole in, or it just starts to look like it needs some green, because that's always an option. So I'm going to start cutting off pieces of the flower. I want to use at least one or both of these sunflowers. Well, there's 3 sunflowers, but I want to use one of the big ones and one of the smaller ones, definitely. So I'm just going to cut them off with enough of a, I think that I'm leaving enough of a border on there, so just cut them off with my wire cutters. Real quick, this tag's arguing with me here. There we go. You're not going to see that. Okay, so I'm taking that off of there. Just making sure that it's together really well. It's not going to come apart, because you're going to need to bend it however you're going to lay this on your chalkboard. So if I want to take this piece here, I'm going to find where I want the main flower to really be. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. So here's where it's going to hang, and I want to place everything kind of on the top going down to this side. So I'm probably going to just place this guy right about here. Bend it some more so it's facing forward until I can get pretty much a good solid. That's probably how I want to do it. I may put it a little bit further down here. I'm also trying to feel where I want to put my bow. So maybe I will put this guy more and then put the bow closer to here. That way if there are tails hanging down, they're hanging down on the side, not necessarily where you're going to write any of your greetings here. So you really don't know until you start placing pieces. So I'm going to cut a little bit more of this tail off. And then with your staple gun, any one works, just start stapling it on. And then I'm going to add some hot glue to these staples once I place more flowers on. I'm going to put some up here, put some here, and then we'll start putting some glue onto them as we continue to add pieces. So let's cut off some more stems from this bush. You're just going to cut them off with just enough of a stem that you have room to staple, and then once we place it on, you can always cut them a little bit shorter. So let's see. Push this guy off to the side for a little bit. And I don't know if I really want to place too many really large flowers on here, but let's just see how things will turn out. So I'm just placing these two guys together like this. I kind of like how they're complementing each other. And I'm just going to kind of run them maybe right here on the front. And then also we're going to cover up all this stuff in the end. I'll show you as I go with hot glue, but then also the leaves. Any of these leaves that are part of this project, I don't throw them away. I use them to cover up some of the stuff. So here's these two guys here, and you can see how I've placed them. There's staples on this one, and then you can see how I've attached that one there on the top. And then you're just going to take your pieces and see how you like the placement and just keep adding. In this instance right now you haven't glued anything down, so if you place something and you tend to find you don't like how you placed it, you can just pull the staple out and then start over or rearrange it. So I mean, nothing's really permanent, even though we've put some holes in the wood. That was something that's going to happen anyways. That was just part of the deal when we started to attach some flowers to this wood. There's going to be holes in the wood, and that's not really earth-shattering because that's what we wanted to do. Yeah, okay. I don't like that guy right in there too. So far, I got 3 up here, 2 down here. I think I'm probably gonna bend these guys down here at the bottom. Probably gonna bend these up a little bit. I started to pull the staple out a little bit, but we can fix that. Just bend that puppy back on there. It's starting to give me a little bit of a problem, so I'm going to go ahead and just glue it right now. As far as the staple goes, the staple was coming out of the wood there, so I'm just going to glue that one down just right now. I'm going to take a marigold, I believe. I don't want to. I've already got this sunflower here, so I don't want to take those darker orange sunflowers. So I'm going to put a marigold in here, maybe 2. And this is also good for like leftover. If you got a lot of leftover flowers from a different project, piece them all together, throw them all together. If you have some leftover greenery from a different project. I made a teacher's appreciation gift. Let me see, you see this guy right here. I had some leftover greenery from that. That would be also another good alternative or opportunity to add something really cute to that. Okay, so on this particular gift, or this particular piece here, I'm going to put a pink rose on it too. I don't want all of the orange together, so I'm just going to grab one of these roses off of this bush here. Now these are kind of big, so I'm only going to put one here. I'm going to try to pick a smaller one, I think. And that's a pretty big rose. I'll just use that one. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. I'm going to use this guy. Just want to kind of even out the oranges and pinks and reds and kind of just do a big mixture of all of them. It's the kind of the fun part in it. And also, we're not going to be afraid to staple inside the frame here down. If you can see, there's a lip inside here. So I'm stapling on the top, and then also on the outside of the frame. We can use the inside of the frame too, because then we're going to be having floral pieces that we can add in at any time to cover them, to cover up anything that might show. So I'm going to staple in here. I believe I want to get my rose just a little bit more. I kind of want that to poke down. Kind of like that. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this guy up here like this, if you guys can take a look here. Alright, and I'm going to place my staple right in there. Oh, you can't see my hands from here, but I'll show you once I get this staple in here. Okay, that one didn't go in. Because of curvature, I didn't have it flat, so let's see. There we go. So that guy inside there, you see how I secured him here and here? That's how he's being held in there. So far we're just building up our flowers. Got some here and here. Still got these two guys down here. I'm going to add a marigold for sure, or at least two of these marigolds here, and then I'll throw in some more little daisies, and then we'll see if we need to put some greenery in there. Let's see how much of this do I want to place. And again, this is all before the bow. The bow I want to place right here in this middle part. So I'm just kind of placing things in to see how, just to see how I'm liking them. That's pretty much all you're doing when you're doing these little floral things, is you're just eyeballing, see where you like things, see if you like, if you want to move something around. And these little guys down here, I have committed because I've already glued them. Those staples were coming out, so I glued those down for sure. So this I'm pulling up as far as I can. I didn't want the greenery will now show through the back. So all I did was I took the leaves from down here, I pushed them all the way to the top. So now you can see little pieces of green sticking out around the flower. And if you don't like that, take too many, you take them off, and then we'll use all these little leftover pieces to kind of hide things on the back or the sides. You just glue them over the tops of zip ties, or if the staples are showing, anything like that. Okay, I like him here, so I'm going to take, this is also again on the inside here. Okay, push it like this. Okay, it's a little awkward, but the best part of this artificial stuff is that most of it is wired. So if you have to bend stuff out of the way in order to get your piece, you know, to get the end result you need, you can always bend and move things back. I think I don't want to get too far in here, so I added that marigold right there at the front. There's those two pieces there. Thinking I may put the other one up here. So I have two marigolds, or do I want to put them closer to here? Okay. I'll leave those off to the side for now, because what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to make the largest part of the bow. I don't want to get too far in and then not have any space for my bow. Okay, so for now I'm not going to dovetail anything. I'm just going to cut it off flat, and then I leave a little bit extra. I'm going to leave an extra long tail, so that way I know if it's falling into the piece here and you're having trouble writing on it, we'll know at the very end, and then we have extra, the more than we need to cut off. For a 50-yard spool, for $6.99, it ends up being about a nickel a foot. So if you have a little bit at the end that you end up needing to throw away or to cut off, I mean, even if it's just a few inches, you can always save that for another piece. You can wrap it around a frame. You can do lots of stuff. There's not much stuff that I actually throw away. I mean, it has to be really small remnants before I will actually chuck something. So I'm just going to take 2-foot pieces here. And I'm going to guesstimate how big I want these loops by holding them. Just going to pinch them after I make the loop here, and then I'm going to hold them up to the piece where you want to place it and then try to see if this is too big or too small for what I want to do. Right about now I think that's good. So if I've got this loop alone is about, it's a 4.5 inch loop, so you're looking at 9 inches total in between the two spaces where you're going to pinch it. I don't really use an exact science on my bows. A lot of times just go with what I feel right. In this instance, I'm not using any wire. I'm not using any floral wire or pipe cleaners. I'm just making individual loops. And I use a rotary cutter here. You get this in the fabric aisle at most places. And I use that to cut my ribbon sometimes if it's in a spot where I can do that. And since we're using the staple gun, I don't have to worry about turning, because this is one-sided ribbon. It's a sheer type of ribbon, you can see through it, but this is the right side. See, this is wider. This, you actually see the white decoration, and this is the back, which you can still see the decoration through, but it is only one-sided. So since we're stapling this on, we do not have to worry about twisting anything. We're just going to make loops. So right now I've got 3. I'm just going to start with that. I'm going to go with my original. Well, I mean, you will probably, after you pinch this here, you're going to have to take this back piece and twist it so that that faces the front, because we're going to put the staple right here when we staple it down to the project. So that's how we're going to push that one on there. So these tails are probably longer than we're going to leave them, depending on how much room we have to write on the chalkboard once we're finished.
Exotic
and
butters.
Says that we actually have to put the longer side out. I'm going to just move this one over, put that longer piece out, and we could possibly just leave that tail on the way it is. So from here, I'm just going to take this and staple through both layers into the wreath, and then I'll show you here. 2 staples in the middle, one here, and then push it forward, covers your staples up, and then we'll add more greenery and flowers around that there. So I wanted to get the ribbon in first, just to make sure that we have the proper spacing. You don't want to run out. It's definitely the bow. I wouldn't say it's your main event, but it's pretty important. And then I've only got three loops cut. I might do 4, I might do 6. This piece here is pretty big. I don't actually know the measurements of this. I don't know if the tag actually tells you or not. I can measure it once we're done. Oh, it does. This is 13 by 7/8. 13 7/8, so it's over a foot. 13 7/8 inches around, or diameter. So it's a pretty decent size. Something smaller, you could use a much smaller ribbon. You wouldn't have to actually use 2.5 inch. You could even just use this tinier 5/8 that I plan on putting in here. I think I want to put some turquoise in it. It's starting to look really cute. Tell me what you guys think, if you see anything, or if you have any ideas or comments or tips or suggestions. Those are always welcome, always appreciated. Okay, I'm going to cut some more loops here because, in my opinion, these 3 here they're looking a little sparse. I got a good amount of tails here, but we're going to cut all those at different lengths. But it's looking a little, it's just looking like it needs a little something else. So I'm going to add 2 more loops, but I'm not going to use the tails part of it. So 8 and 8 is 16, since that was, or sorry, no, 9 and 9 is 18, right? Because we were doing 4.5 inch loops, which would have been 9 inches each. So I'm going to cut 18 inches here. Maybe a little bit more than that. I'm going to have a meet in the middle. Pinch them down like that. Now see if you see. I kind of just made them into a circle. So I'm leaving a little bit of an overlap, okay? I'm going to pinch them down here together. So I've now made the loop in the middle, and then I'm going to pinch them here. Kind of like making a little bow. So I'm going to put the staple here in the middle, and they'll stick up like that together once we attach them to the thing, so I don't have so many tails sticking out here. And that adds a little bit more depth to the center. Here's the 2 extra I added right there. Here and here. Okay, and I'm gonna do 1 more. That way we got a good amount of ribbon, and then we'll be done with that. Perfect. So the same thing, I cut, this one was 2 feet, I have a little bit left over, but I'm just going to cut that off after I staple it down. Pinch it in the middle, I'm going to staple it onto our project piece, just like that. And then also when you're done, you go through and throw a little bit of hot glue underneath these bow loops just to secure them down. You can make, you know, that way you've made sure that they're not going to go anywhere if it kind of makes you nervous, or if you're going to ship this item to someone as a gift, or if you're going to make it for a client of your own. You want to absolutely make sure that none of it comes apart, which is a completely normal concern. Throw some hot glue under every staple. It's never a problem. It's usually just that little last bit of quality assurance just to make sure. I tend to even go as far as gluing all of my little stems, making sure that if there's some small daisies, I give them like a slight little tug and make sure that they stay together, that they don't come off, and throw a little hot glue on there, like even these little guys here. I just kind of pull on them, make sure that, you know, some of them, the quality is not so good, because you're going to mix some of your more expensive flowers with some of your more inexpensive flowers. That way the piece is, it's got a little bit of mix of everything, and then you don't really have to worry too much. That's what we got so far. So we got a good amount of bow here, and now what we need to do is we're going to start filling in with more flowers. Now we can put flowers in the bow here too, so we can make sure all of this is seen and nothing's really hiding or peeking out. So I want to see what we can do here with this little guy here, this little pink fuchsia guy here. See how cute that is? I just laid that in there, but just got a little pink peeking out. It's really, really cute. So I'm going to start throwing in some more flowers. I still have those too, so. sunflower. I got a little small one here on this same bush. Look how cute that is. It's smaller. I think I might throw that one right here into the base of, right at the base of this bow. Now again, we didn't cut any of these stems or any of these tails on this bow, but we've got a lot of opportunity for glue and staples, so we're going to probably end up moving things around and getting things bent a little bit, so we'll have to keep working on the bow and making sure that the bow is properly fixed towards the end. So it's going to get crushed, and that's normal. That's part of the process. It's going to happen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw some glue on these pieces I have, because right now I'm really liking where all of my placement is, and I've only glued down 2 of my flowers. My glue is super hot at the moment, so I just want to make sure I get this stuff that way before I get too far and then I can't reach some of it. Since this is a circular piece, you really can't mess things up too badly. If you have a square piece, rectangle, you may want to get things certain placement for items. Just actually, I have my easel over here to show you. I was gonna possibly work on it this way, but it's too far away for you guys to see what I'm doing to it. So there's always that way. You can bring it closer to your station. Just hang it up every once in a while. Step back, take a look, see if you like how things are going. Then you can place it back down on your workstation, and we'll see, if we, how we continue to add stuff here and there, how you want your placement to continue on, those types of things there. I'm going to take one of these yellow mums here. I want this one right down here. It's a really bright yellow mum. I showed you that in the beginning. Got that at Michael's. Just messing around here with my bow, seeing if I want to put this guy right here in the middle of the bow. I think I'm going to take that out. I'll put something else in there.
Exotic butters.
So what I'm going to do here. Oh, hi Sally. Thanks for chatting me and joining me today. And it actually is really easy. It's just cut and paste, right? It's a lot of cut and paste. And a lot of hot glue. And sometimes a lot of hot glue burns. It is a little awkward with the staple gun, but I know I'm getting a secure. I know that when I get them in there that they're going to stay in. They're not really going to move around too much. This is going to be an indoor piece for me. I wouldn't put this outside. Pretty much everything is weather. Even this ribbon is weatherproof, but I don't know how the wood's going to do. So it doesn't rain very much here, but. And then anywhere I place it, I don't think it would get very much rain, but I don't want to risk it too much out here. Just make sure that it stays where I want it to, and completely missed it on that one. And here a lot of the footwork now is going to be small flowers. I think I've added all of the larger flowers I want to put on here because I don't want it to get too, I don't want it to get too bulky. So now it's just going to be filling in small flowers. And I want to put this marigold in here somewhere. I'm determined to get this guy in this arrangement. I'm just not sure exactly where I'm going to have it. I just wanted it possibly even down here. It'd be too close to the other orange, but I don't know that that's a bad thing. Oranges together wouldn't really be a bad thing, I don't think. Still gonna wait. Nothing's really, it's not really speaking to me at the moment. So let's just keep going. I'm gonna take all these little fuchsia guys off of here. I really like the little small ones on this bush stem up there, this bush pack that I got. These little fuchsia flowers are extremely cute. And then I've got some more little fuchsia daisies. I'll use these too. So we'll fill all that in. Oh, I got these little yellow guys here. Two first. I also like to leave a couple of the leaves on there because even after you're placing this item in the, I got a little extra piece of yellow in the middle of this one. Oh, I like to leave it just because when you put it in the piece, you got that little bit extra green. Kind of saves you from having to get the greenery bushes. Those guys are where some of the expense comes from. The greenery bushes. Unless any of you guys have any ideas of where you can get those more affordably, those are where most of my pricing goes. Is they're, you know, 10, 11, 12 bucks a pop. This guy was regular price. Oh my gosh. If I got it for half off, this thing was 20 bucks and I got it for $10. So it's still kind of pricey, but it really finishes a piece. So I kind of still been buying them. Plus, I like them to. I like the greenery, and my personal preference is I love green, and I think it's just from living in the desert for so long. If I can find anything green or has a lot of lushness to it, I think it's more appealing to me. My personal preference is the more green, the better. So I've seen some other people online buying fern type items and placing little fern sprigs and things, and those are looking really cute and pretty. So it's okay, well, I could buy some fern. And then I've also seen other Facebook and YouTube videos on people are using ficus leaves. You can get those at Hobby Lobby and Michael's. Fairly cheap, usually $1.99 or $1. The last time I was pretty much okay with buying them for their regular price because I didn't see the sale price. And then when I got to the register, they're like, oh, these are on sale, and they were 50% off. So that's even more exciting when you've already committed and saying, sure, I don't mind paying this price, and then it's less. It's a good day. So I got some ficus sprigs. I haven't used them in anything yet. Those ones are very affordable. Some of the other greenery bushes, though, sometimes some of those other ones they'll throw you for a good loop as far as price is concerned. All comes down to price. If you're making the project for yourself, then sometimes that doesn't matter. It's whatever makes you happy, and if you want to spend the money, then spend the money. If you want to make it to sell an item on Etsy or if you want to make it as a gift for someone. In my opinion, every little bit counts, right? So if you can find a way to get something for just a little bit more of a deal or a sale, then more power to you. Just adding more of these guys. Oops, just keep on adding. So I can put some of these in the bow. I'm going to save those for the bow. And what I'm going to do is add some of these guys in. I still haven't found a place for this marigold, and I absolutely am determined to get this guy in here. Maybe I need to turn it to the left a little. Oh, I got some glue on it. How do I do that? It's all fixable. Okay, so I'm going to take this guy, twist him a little bit. It's going to go on the outside up here, so he's more sitting to the outside, but you'll see him as an accent on the top. I'll show you as soon as I get him secured into the place I want him in. He'll be peeking through up here. That's exactly how I want to place him, right like that. So in this instance, I get to say I won. Just cutting off an extra piece of the stem there. And then now staple that down, and actually one of these other leaves back here is going to cover up all my glue and staples, but I'll just get that out of the way right now. Okay, so now if you can peek here, the marigold, got him right here. So when you're looking at the piece, he's up there in the top corner. He still makes me happy that I got it in there. So far so good. Now I'm losing more space here. This is a short little message, a hello, thank you, you know, anything cute, apple pie, welcome. I don't tend to think I have good handwriting, so I just try to print a little bit here and there. My printing may or may not leave something to be desired, but I am just leaving enough space in there for a short little message. It's not going to be like a main communication device for anyone. This is just a cute little hello, or if there's a specific season like happy summer, or maybe this is on the front door, you're going to have a party. You could put welcome to the wine party, welcome to the tea party, welcome to anything. I crochet, so there's always like get-togethers where the ladies call them different cute little acronyms like stitch and those types of things, or crochet crowds get along, those types of things. That's on most of those people groups you can get into. You can always put welcome or hosting a party, put it on your door when everyone's coming over, or in your entry hall. So just something big enough to where you know you just need a little bit of space. You're not going to lose too much of the space you want to actually write on. So it's always something you try to keep conscious of while you're doing it. So right here I got to hold this guy a little way because I want to hide some of this down here at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this guy in here. There's a method to my madness, just real quick. I'm going to throw that there and I'll throw some staples and glue on it and show you what the purpose is of getting this one down in here. I got empty space below the bow. So I want to secure things. I'm like completely missing. There we go. I won. There we go. I want there to be something under the bow here, so it's not just empty underneath it, and then you can see, you know, if some of the tails fly up, it gets a little breeze or whatever, then you're going to have first look at the behind the scenes, and that's the majority of the time that's the stuff that you don't want anyone to see. You kind of want to hide all that, so that was part of the reason I threw this guy down in here. So I'm pulling these ribbon tails back underneath here, under this little yellow mum. And I'll show you why I did that. Again, just messing with the bow. It's kind of a thing I constantly do. So underneath here, you can kind of see under there. I put another little yellow mum. It was a little bit of work, but when if it's up on a higher door, you're gonna see it. It's kind of in the shadows right now, but when you're looking at this on your door, you'll see little holes, and if you catch them a couple days later, add stuff back in. I've been known to do that. I've taken things off my doors, brought them back in the room in here, and just added more stuff. Later on, second thought, it's never. Sometimes I say, oh, my projects are never ending, just because sometimes I'll get something new and think I want to add it to something I've already done. I'm like, no, it's done. Nope, no, it's not done. It's too cute to be done. Or I'll buy something and say, oh, I can take that home and add that to this wreath I've already done. But that's probably because I'm mainly flower obsessed. Okay. And let's see how these guys are doing here. I don't know if I ever glued down, I didn't glue down that pink rose I added. So I think that's probably close to being completed for flowers. I got some tiny little pieces here I'm going to push in the bow. I do want to add some of this turquoise. I don't know, what do you guys think? I was thinking about putting some turquoise striped kind of up here at the top, but then I have all these colors. I could put anything in there. I've got greens, pinks, and oranges, and I have a fuchsia stripe. I got a yellow stripe and a green stripe, because these are all the colors that are in this right now. But then I also got red, which I don't like with it, and this turquoise. And for some reason, I want to throw turquoise in there. But maybe I shouldn't. I definitely have a green bow already, so I'm going to rule that out. If I did yellow, fuchsia looks a little cute. I'm still thinking turquoise would be really cute to add some turquoise. I'm going to go with it. Just going to add a few little turquoise accents, throw some of these guys in there, glue in the bow, and we'll be done. Actually just got this ribbon in the shipment. I had posted on my Facebook page. I got this shipment just this week. I want to say maybe Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday. Brand spanking new. I got it. 25 yards, and it's wired, which I thought was really awesome because it's only 5/8 inch wide, and apparently it's childproof. Okay, guys. Oh, really? Maybe it's a sign. Maybe I shouldn't put the turquoise in it. Can't get it open. What do you think? Okay, I won. Again, I won. Here, we'll take a cut. Oh, look, it's solid on the back. So cute. I didn't realize that. Okay. So here's my idea. Just take this, pinch it, smooth it, and see what happens when you just stick one loop in there. Just stick a little loop in here. I think it gives just a cute little pop of color. I'm going to add just a few of them here and there, just because it makes me happy. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not even going to cut it. I'm just going to make the loop I think looks good, and I'm going to staple it in, and then I'll just cut off the scissors as we go. So let's take a guess. If you want to just guesstimate with me, I'm looking here. It's about 17 inches long from tail to tail, which I'm going to end up cutting this probably shorter on one side, but the loop itself is 3 inches. So that means 6 inches from pinch to pinch, if that helps. I always try to give you guys some measurements, just because I'm not big on measuring when I'm making my bows, but sometimes if I want to try to recreate something I've seen online, a lot of times when I'm watching other YouTubers and Facebook Live videos, when they're giving me the measurements, it really does help. And then that's when I will actually go in and get the measurements out, make sure it's, trying to get as close as possible, because I wanted to, I really liked something I saw, and I wanted to recreate it. There's also nothing that says right now I couldn't just create another loop here. So see, I'll show you guys here. I stapled in the loop. I pinched it, I made it into one loop, and I secured it right there in the middle. Now can you see that? There's a staple down in there, right? So now here's the one piece of tail. I'm going to take this guy and just make another loop like this right next to it. So I'm only going to be stapling down this piece right here where my fingers are. So we'll take this down, we'll push this leaf to the side, and throw a staple right down in here. I secured that in, and now all I'm going to do is cut a tail that I think looks about right, and then I never cut this because I wasn't ready to cut my ribbons, but since I'm doing it this way, I'm going to dovetail these green ones, but for this little guy here, I just did a little diagonal. So now I got a little pop of some turquoise ribbon poking out here around these flowers. I'm going to probably add maybe 2 more of these, one here, or maybe I'll put 2 over here, 1 here, just to space it out. I'm not sure if I'm even going to put one in with the green bow. Yeah, right here is perfect, actually. Right here next to this orange, this turquoise next to this orange, it's speaking to me. It's very, very cute. Alright, so I'm going to make this into a 3 loop. So like the other one I did, I have 1 loop already stapled, and then I'm taking the next loop, placing it here, but instead I'm going to pinch it and make another loop. So this middle piece here that I'm holding becomes a 3rd loop once I place it down in here. Do you see how that happens? So I have 1 loop with a staple and a stem, or and a tail. This tail becomes your 3rd loop if you make another loop pinched. I'm going to staple that one down here. Got the whole bush on mine. And then end result, I'll show you, turns out like just a little gathering, just a little bunch of ribbon. Like nature intended there to be a cute little gift in the middle of all these flowers. pull that tail this way, I'll pull this tail this way. And my sunflower petals are arguing with me real quick, so I'm just going to move those around like that. And then that one turns into that little guy right there. Honestly, I think 2 of them looks good. I may not. I'm just going to leave it there. I don't want to just see how it works out. So let me add these guys in, and then we'll cut the others, and I'll see how much extra I think it needs. It may not need anything at all, but let's just push a couple of these in here. They had all kinds of colors of these at Michael's. They had red and orange. The red ones were really cool looking. Because it wasn't like a bright fire engine red. They were kind of almost like a darker brick red, and they were really, really pretty. Now see, I don't leave those together. I'm literally pulling them apart. The stems usually are individually wrapped with, you know, the little floral wire here, and it'll come apart again if I pull it just right. So now I've got these little guys, and now I haven't cut anything, so this part won't unravel. So I actually have this one piece from the 2-piece from the large piece. A lot of them will come apart this way, and then they won't unravel. There's a lot of times where I've pulled things apart, and then all the unraveling and the leaves start coming off, and then you have to get your floral tape out, which can start to make things really bulky on the end if you're trying to fix something. So sometimes it's not exactly a welcome fix, but you know, it's there to help you, I guess. I'm thinking of adding this over here on the side. So there's one. Yes, I'm definitely going to add this here because it's poking down off the side. And I'm only putting a small little curve on this piece, so it'll just curve a little bit with the actual chalkboard itself. So secure one here, and then I'm gonna pull some of these leaves back here on the side, so you can kind of see here I'm pulling these back. I'm gonna staple it up here on the actual front. And then I'll throw the glue up here. And underneath here. You just want to make sure you glue it down. A lot of times some of these things get a little loose. The staples hold some of them in, but the staples don't hold all of it in. So it can get a little loose in there. A lot of times it's just kind of putting things where you think they'll look good, just to see how just kind of want to see how it sticks out or how it looks on there. I'm not sure. We're gonna still need to write in here, so I think I'll kind of put this maybe here. I gotta take a peek at this. So we're gonna use we're gonna use another one of these here. I'm just going to pop these poking out both ways. Using the length to my advantage, it's going to be, you know, it's bringing the arrangement towards you, not just around the chalkboard. It's coming out towards you, so you get a good, almost 3D type look to it, it's going to come towards you and give it good depth. And all of this can be bent that way. Okay. 2 more of these. And then I think we're pretty much done. I don't believe I want to put any more in here, but we'll see what happens after I cut the ribbon. If I can't get the bow as full as I want, remember I'm still going to add these guys down into the bow. Okay, so this guy's looking good right here. Just trying to make sure I'm not smashing anything on the side down there every time I push it down. So let's move the marigold leaves up, tuck that under. I also need to make sure it's not going to interfere. Okay, it's not going to interfere with that. And instead of cutting some of these ends, you can literally just curl them under with a pair of pliers, curl them under another leaf. That way you're not cutting off too much of them. They still have their own way to stay secure. You don't have to cut them too short, and then they'll fall out from under your staple even though you're gluing it in. Last one. Kind of looks like it's part of the bow now. So I secured this one really close to the other side of the bow. I'm thinking I'll probably put this one on this side of the bow here as well. And even after you secure it all down, it's still all wired. So everything here can be bent and changed position. Even though that doesn't actually happen in Mother Nature. Cut that one off. I'm just going to put a big old amount of glue right there. And we are still going to secure all of this with, I mean, not secure. We're going to cover all of these staples and glued in pieces that you can see with greenery and leaves from our bushes and our artificial flowers that we've already added. Stuck my finger in some glue there. All right, so let's see what we got here. Very cute. Okay, so let me get, I got some ribbon scissors because they seem to stay sharper if I only use a specific pair for just ribbon. So I'm going to cut these into dovetails. Dovetails means you're just going to pinch them right sides together, and then you cut them at a diagonal going away, almost did it towards, going away from the folded part. So you've got them right sides together, and then here on the folded edge you're going to cut at a diagonal away from the folded, and you come out with a cute little V. And then again, some of these were the ones I said I was going to cut shorter. so they're just kind of sticking out, not covering up too much of the flowers around there. Here now, I'm going to cut the stems on these a little bit shorter because we're going to glue just the tips on here, and then we're going to nestle them down into the bow, just like that. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with the placement of these. Add another glue stick. At this point, you're basically securing the flower to the actual bow itself, to the loops in the bow. So since everything in here has already been stapled down, this also kind of holds your loops together, keeps them from separating a little bit too much. You know, you won't have holes in them to see through them. If you already got some items on the tips, I've been glued into the bow. So you've got the greenery of the leaves also. They kind of spread out and help to fill in if your bow has some spaces in it. Here's pretty much what we have. Oh, and I just saw a ribbon that I missed. This little guy poking through right here. See, this is what angles are going to get to just a little bit. Put the right sides together. Alright, just in the interest of time, I'm going to cover up everything on the back later. I can always show that in other pieces. See, I've got some staples and glue showing. What I would do is the bush that we bought earlier, the one that we've used mainly everything off of, but a few of these flowers, you're just going to pull off. Well, these don't pull off, so I'm going to cut them off. Just cut off these big leaves here. And I'm going to glue them down on the back so you don't see any of that. So all of that will get covered up with greenery. It'll all lay in a natural looking way, covers itself up, and then you won't see any of this behind the scenes. I will post some pictures on my Facebook page to show you guys the behind the item itself, so you can see exactly how things turn out. That way, when you go to make your own, you don't have to worry about all that extra staples and glue showing. So I'm just going to write a small little message here in the middle of my sign. As long as you guys can see that there. So I just put thank you right there in the middle. There's never really anything there, and of course, you just erase on that. And then since we didn't put anything too crazy down on the bottom, or on the back of it, you don't really have much issue with laying it flat to write on it or to draw on it. thoughts and whatnots. Anything. The chalkboard itself is meant to be a little cloudy after you've already written on it, so you've got all of your good ideas here. Oh, see what I did? I held it the wrong way there, so let's fix that. So we need to hold it this way. Okay, so hold the sign up like that. There you go. Got a thank you. Appreciate you guys. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for joining me, watching my tutorials. I have many other items I'm going to do on Facebook. I will have some more live streams I'm going to do. Also, I have a few YouTube videos. If you're not able to catch this live, you can watch the playback on Facebook or also on my YouTube page. I place all my Facebook lives on my YouTube channel as well. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for joining me. Give me a like, subscribe, whatever applies. I appreciate all of you, and feel free to leave any comments or suggestions or any tips or tricks, because I love to learn from each other. Crafters are the best to learn from. We all have our own little shortcuts and quirks, and it's so awesome to share those with others. Also, just lost my train of thought, so I'll just end it there. I appreciate all of you, and I hope to see you soon. So take care, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks.